Well, welcome everybody to this week's edition of Market Insights. So my day started off with a bang. I got this tooth way back here taken out. So the oral surgeon said, listen, go home, just relax, chill for the day. So apparently, this is my interpretation of relaxing and chilling, but everything feels okay. To cheer myself up, the first thing I did when I got home was I pulled up my investment account and I'm like, the world is good. So here we are. Glad to be with you. I wasn't sure how I'd be able to, whether or not I'd be able to do this, but you know what? Suck it up. There are people out there that have real problems, not to be confused with getting a tooth pulled. Hope you're well wherever you are, and I hope you're flossing. Today is October the 6th, 2025. It's starting to feel like fall. Quick reminder that everything that we do here is for educational purposes only, not intended as investment advice. So, what's moving the markets? Man, it's all good. Market seems to be ambivalent to the government shutdown. They just don't care. It doesn't matter. From time to time, it feels like the world would be better if the government was shut down. I think that's kind of the prevailing attitude out there. Certainly, the market has not responded in any kind of a negative way. The S&P and the Nasdaq are sitting at record levels in spite of tariffs, in spite of sticky inflation, in spite of valuations, and of course, the latest curveball, government shutdown. Bitcoin hit fresh record highs, so a lot of Bitcoin related stocks are doing well. If you want to participate in Bitcoin, but not directly go out and buy Bitcoin, there's an ETF called IBIT, IBIT. So I sort of added to that position when I read that the president of the United States, that he had a company that was raising 2.5 billion to buy Bitcoin. I thought he might know something. So I don't know, that wasn't a tough dot to connect. 10-year treasury pretty steady at 4.164. And oil prices have dropped a little bit. They're down to 61.74 a barrel. So here's kind of a report card. The S&P year to date's up 14.2%, up more today. NASDAQ up 18% on the year. It's been a good year. And market breadth. So a couple things that I look at. Advancers versus decliners, right? Which was definitely positive on the New York Stock Exchange and really positive on the NASDAQ. But to me, the biggie, companies making new 52-week highs versus 52-week lows. So the bottom line, this shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. We're in a bullish market and it continues to have momentum, always subject to change, right? Hedge your bets. Markets can be unpredictable, but right now, man, things look good. The big winners from last week, Western Digital up 22%. Same with Robinhood. I think both of those are crypto related. Fair Isaac Corporation, 21%. Coinbase, crypto, 21%. Biotech, Tekin, I don't know how you pronounce that. Tekin Corp. You can tell I don't have any money in it. Up 21%. Micron Technology, we've done a lot of trades on that over the years, up 19%. Charles River Laboratory, 19. Thermo Fisher Scientific, 17. Biogen, 16. And Moderna. I guess, what are we getting ready to roll out a bunch more vaccines? Stocks trading above their 200-day moving average. So right now, that is 64.81%. That's not a record high. Not that long ago, we were at 80%. It's a lower percentage on the 50-day moving average, but again, definitely bullish. More than half the stocks are trading above their 200. That's a good sign. This caught my attention for lots of obvious reasons. So, um, total call volume over the last 20 sessions was an average of 40 million contracts on the call side. A lot of bullishness. The big winners since August, check this out. Quantum computing, 61%. There's an ETF, QTUM, that owns a portfolio of quantum related stocks. Bitcoin sensitive equities. Remember, I told you IBIT directly correlates with the price of Bitcoin, up 41%. Non-profitable tech, that's interesting. So pure speculation in the tech area, 22%. Liquid IPOs, 14%. Retail favorites are up 14%. Consumers are buying. Magnificent Seven, 7%. S&P since August, 4%. And the balance of the S&P, or the 493 that's not part of the Magnificent Seven, up 3%. Retail sales continue to be strong. Check that out. So, we've got very much of a bifurcated economy. The people at the top are living a pretty damn good life. And the people down toward the bottom are really struggling. Inflation obviously has hurt them a ton. Um, I hope for all of you, you're near the top. If not, get there. That should be the goal. What should we be watching for this week news-wise? Now, this comes with an asterisk because anything that comes out of the government, we're not going to get, right? We have a government shutdown. So we got a bunch of Fed speak. We've got consumer credit numbers coming out, which actually is supposed to go down a little bit over last month. Wednesday, Fed speak, Thursday. So this is an example, initial jobless claims. I don't know if we're going to have any initial jobless claims. So we'll have to see, you know. And Friday, consumer sentiment numbers supposed to drop again. Um, yeah, I totally understand that. There's a lot of people out there very concerned about what the future may hold. Last week's heat map, as you would expect, a lot more green than red. Um, AT&T, so for whatever reason, the entertainment side of communications was off a bunch, and Meta has definitely been falling. Consumer defensive, I think money probably rotated out of there and things like Philip Morris into more aggressive tech and crypto plays. Healthcare had a really good week, as did some of the software, as you have semiconductors, computer hardware, both were pretty strong. Financials, not so much. Market sentiment continues to move higher. I mean, it wasn't long ago that, September 10th, only 28% of people thought the market move higher. Over the next 6 months, 49.5% thought it would go lower. Now we're at 42.9 higher and 39.2 lower. This week's earnings, not much to hang your hat on. Um, what the hell is Penguin Solutions? I could tell you, whatever their earnings are, it's going to have zero impact on the market. Maybe the most impactful will be Delta, because it lets you know whether or not people are spending money for travel. Kind of a litmus test for the economy. Let's take a look at the charts. They ought to be pretty sweet. And they are, week after week now. It's been kind of like this. check out that yellow line. That's 50-day moving average. You see the slope up. That's bullish. We're trading above that. That is bullish. Volume's falling off a little bit. MACD is pretty flat. RSI, we're in the overbought area, but just slightly. An on-balance volume is strong. So probably exactly what you expected. So right now everything looks great, subject to change. I'll be keeping an eye on it for you, and I'll let you know what's happening again next week. So until then, be safe, be well, and bye for now.